Yo, what's up? Let me show you guys. Actually, can I even show you? This dude looks like it's going bad for him.
Nothing feels better than winning when people are patiently waiting to see you fail. Dan, you've lost 1 million followers in the last 12 months, seen your stock price plummet so low you had to take it off the stock exchange, and now spend the rest of your time copying Andrew Tate.
Yeah, we're gonna start a website called Sigma Society.
While rambling about politics on Twitter. This is basically the definition of failure, and here's exactly how it happened. Dan Bilzerian took his company Ignite public at a price of $2.50 per share back in January 2019, a time at which his career was going perfectly. His Instagram was gaining 400,000 followers per month, he was living in a $65 million mansion, and most importantly, everybody believed that his lifestyle was real. That would be until July 2020, 18 months after Ignite started, when Dan fired Ignite's vice president, who then sued Dan Bilzerian for unfair dismissal, in the process completely exposing his phony business model. For starters, the lawsuit explained that Dan Bilzerian hadn't actually paid $65 million for his mansion, but the property was rather rented for $2.4 million per year. On top of this, it was shown that Bilzerian paid for the travel expenses of the rotating cast of models that permanently accompany Bilzerian wherever he goes, despite Dan consistently stating that the girls were there voluntarily.
Do you pay these girls to come?
No. Okay, so
That's the big misconception,
yeah, I'm
right?
addressing that on my app.
However, the craziest part of the lawsuit outlined Dan's strange expenses, including $75,000 on a paintball field, $40,000 on a rock climbing wall, $60,000 on a Star Wars gun set, $31,000 on pool renovations, $50,000 on a bed frame, $15,000 on a ping pong table, and $88,000 on a vault, just to name a few. It was also stated that some business expenses charged to Ignite were for household items, groceries, and luxury yacht rentals, with a different former employee stating Ignite pays for everything. Models, events, yachts. Dan would just have it wrapped with the Ignite logo, and all of a sudden it was an Ignite expense, and he would send them the bill. Pools, trampolines, the employee added. His personal events that had nothing to do with the business. Dan responded by stating, some journalist said Ignite was funding my life. Bitch, I've been going hard for 10 years and been famous for going.
What's Ignite? And I didn't know this dude was famous for 10 years.
Hard for 7. I started Ignite 2 years ago, raised around 100 mil, and I own the majority of the company, suck my dick, although his arrogant response failed to dismiss anything, especially the company's atrocious financial reports. Dan had spent a total of $69 million during Ignite's first year in business, which was offset by only $9.7 million in sales. Given the previously mentioned lawsuit explained how terribly this money was spent, Ignite's stock price plummeted by almost 90%, from $2.50 to a low of 28 cents in October 2020. As the media began to report on Dan's losses, he'd respond by stating Uber is worth $80 billion. It has never had a profitable month since it started, and it lost over $5 billion in one quarter last year. However, Ignite's financial losses weren't even the worst part. Ignite only had an audience because of Dan's extravagant life, which as a result of the lawsuit had been exposed as rented. His lifestyle was once mysterious and intriguing, but it lost its edge as soon as people realized it was just another business. On top of this, the whole mega rich guy on Instagram shtick was cool in 2014, but by 2020 everybody knew it was complete baloney, which began to reflect in Dan's Instagram statistics. In May 2020, Dan almost completely stopped posting to Instagram, and by the end of the year he'd begun to lose followers. In the meantime, the media speculated that he'd soon file for bankruptcy, to which Dan clapped back by tweeting a skeleton with the caption, "Or the dumbass journalist patiently waiting for Ignite to go bankrupt." Dan was right, Ignite wasn't filing for bankruptcy, but that didn't mean that things were going well. After losing $69 million in 2019, Ignite lost a further $19.7 million in 2020, during which the media released another strange detail. Dan Bilzerian's dad was supposedly running Ignite from behind the scenes. Now this was a problem for one main reason. Paul Bilzerian was a convicted felon who was legally prohibited from participating in publicly traded companies. He'd spent a year in jail for fraud in the 90s, leading Dan to pretend that they weren't that close.
I talked to him probably 4 or 5 times a year.
However, according to one article, Paul Bilzerian has taken a less shadowy role within the company, sending thousands of emails between himself and other top executives at Ignite. This was only speculation at the time, but if Paul was in fact running the company, he was starting to do something right. Despite losing $19.7 million in 2020, Ignite actually recorded a profit in their final quarter, leading Dan to tweet Ignite Ignite announces a profitable fourth quarter.
What is Ignite though? What does the company do? Like, now you got me needing to research stuff, bro. I don't want to look up your company name. I really don't know what it does. Let's see. Right. Inspired by its CEO and founder, Ignite has positioned itself as the gold standard and industry expert in CBD, in spirits, beverages, and supported with premium apparel line. Is it like it just sells a bunch of stuff? It looks like it sells water. Looks like one of the products they sell is water. It looks like they sell vapes, vodka, B25, whatever that is. Raspberry watermelon. Hold on. Is it like a liquor? V25, 25 disposables, 250, 2500 of 7.5. I don't know. Vodka Vapes Dan, Ignite Brewing Company. Oh, it's a brewing company. Water. I guess they sell a variety of stuff. I guess they might also sell clothes. Sell cannabis. Sell some weed. What is that? CBD. Blood orange. I don't know what CBD is, so somebody would mind telling me that. Okay, so it's like kind of like a variety company which sells a bunch of stuff.
I guess the press and the dumb YouTubers were wrong, shocking, the reason for which being explained in a Forbes article. For one, Ignite cut costs, slashing a promotional budget by nearly 75%. Pandemics meant fewer parties, and for Ignite that meant a chance at profit. As economic conditions improved in early 2021, the price of Dan's stock began to recover rapidly, quadrupling from 28 cents per share in October 2020 to $1.13 only 1 year later. In the process, Ignite increased its revenue from $16.9 million in 2020 to $78.8 million in 2021, at which point Dan made the claim that he wanted to sell the company.
$2 billion would be nice, because then I get over $1 billion.
However, the chance of achieving this kind of money began to look unlikely, as the value of Dan's company began to fall off a cliff. The recovery made by Dan in 2021 was completely reversed throughout 2022, owed in part to one particular incident. The SEC is suing Ignite Brands Ltd for failing to produce documents as it attempts to pursue an accounting fraud investigation. According to the SEC case, SEC staff have uncovered information indicating that respondents may have filed public financial statements that include false or misleading representations regarding revenues earned and recognized in the company's fiscal year ending December 1st, 2020. On top of potentially falsifying their revenue, the suit also revealed that Ignite was under criminal investigation for something unrelated. As a result, the stock was headed toward a new record low. However, Dan was able to fix this problem by removing Ignite from the stock exchange altogether. He provided no explanation for the company's removal. However, just 2 months later, media publication MJ Biz Daily somehow managed to interview Dan Bilzerian's dad, who said he is now serving as an unpaid advisor to his son's company and was speaking on behalf of Ignite because Dan was unavailable to comment. He'd state there is no reason to have a public company unless you intend to raise capital from public markets, before going on to state though Ignite was publicly traded, about 90% of the company's shares are owned by Dan and friends. Dan likely thought that as a public figure he should have a public company, although this structure provided no real benefit and instead delivered unwanted attention from governing bodies and the media. Despite this, it was reported in March 2023 that Dan was still refusing to cooperate with governing bodies, and while Ignite's privatization means its income is no longer public, it doesn't really seem as though business has improved. did. Dan recently bragged on Ignite's Instagram by stating,
Best-selling
best-selling
vapes
vapes in
South
South America, although the very top comment was, bro, I love you, but I never seen anyone smoking that. Ignite's Twitter page gets about 30 likes per post. The company's official TikTok page has under 4,000 followers, while Dan Bilzerian's personal social media isn't looking so healthy either. His main Instagram page is losing 100,000 followers per month, owed in part to his complete inactivity, only uploading every once in a blue moon. When he does post, all of the most popular comments state, so sad you have to pay for having ladies around you, haha, lol, such a sad life, and I don't know why I still follow this dude. In January 2021, Bilzerian was asked, Dan, why are you barely active over Instagram recently? To which he'd respond with, cause I just finished the 25th edit of my book, it's finally done. Yet Dan failed to return to Instagram after the book's release. However, only a couple of months ago on the Skinny Confidential podcast, Dan gave an updated explanation for why he'd quit everything.
I just don't care. Like, I feel like social media is like a video game I beat like 8 years ago, and I'm like, everybody's playing the same game. I'm like tired of playing it. Like, I look at social media like a cancer. Like, to me, I think it's the worst thing to be happening to society. So I just it just cringe to perpetuate that problem.
Dan seems quite resentful over his social media career and is perhaps sick of being hated. However, I can't imagine his next venture will make that any better. After seemingly spending a bit too much time with Andrew Tate, Dan Bilzerian is working on his own alpha male course and website called Sigma Society.
The thing I'm working on right now
is anybody gonna actually join that
it's
though?
basically gonna like teach guys kind of like
Sigma?
what's that? Yeah.
Sigma?
Yeah, it's gonna like teach guys how to be guys. You know, I feel like
That is so dumb, bro. What? I'm gonna teach guys how to be guys. Hold on. I'm curious about something. Sadly, I don't want this on my search history, but whatever. I want to be recommended stuff like this. Oh wow, I could watch a video from 5 months ago for free on YouTube, 9 minutes long, on how to be a guy, how to be a man. Oh wow, I don't gotta pay however much to get information that I could find online for free. Like, bro, it's right there. Like, YouTube damn near has everything. It's right there. Your website's gonna fail. There's no point. Stop it.
this generation has kind of like lost that.
And while such a venture would surely find an audience, it feels like a last-ditch unoriginal money grab, which is almost always a sign of having nothing left to offer.
That's tough. That's tough. That was the last word. The last word was so true. Anyone who is selling classes is at the end of their success, and the classes aren't gonna help. Selling classes, like, unless it's like editing classes or classes that are actually useful, except like maybe selling dumb classes, like let's say like you're let's say you're a food channel, right? And you're a chef, right? And then you sell classes on how to cook better, right? That would make sense. You are Instagram, what would you call it? Instagram, I don't know what word to use. Like, you just go on Instagram, post about your life, about the fabulous stuff in your life, even though your life is probably shit. Maybe. We don't know. Post about your life, and then you try to sell us classes on how to be a man. Nigga, what? It's not like, bro, at least with the food channel, if I pay for that, I know I'm gonna get use from it, right? I'm gonna learn some techniques here or there. I don't really need to buy the subscription for the food channel to learn some of these hacks, because I could just probably look it up and figure it out from Google or YouTube. But if I really wanted to, that would be more useful than going to you and learning how to be a man, quotations, whatever. But yeah, like, subscribe, see you guys later. Hope you have a good day or night, and bye. I don't know, bro. This is dumb.